I'm April J, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I make like kind of chill pop music. I like to describe it as depression with like a hint of badass. I released a song called Stop Fighting It, which was like my badass, spicy era. And I just am about to release, as I'm recording this, a new song called You Didn't Notice, which is back into like my sad girl era. Break between 2017 and 2020 was kind of purposeful. I basically started out my career making country music, and I was slowly and surely falling out of love with the kind of music I was making. Making that whole EP was also a bit difficult. I was working a full time job at the time. I don't have the fondest of memories working on it. So when I was coming back into making more music in 2020, I was making like almost like a crossover of pop and country music, which was back again. And yeah, I released that on I think it was the 6th of March. And yeah, COVID hit like a week or two later. And I actually got COVID, I think 4 days after I released it. And I got like the OG COVID. So it was like I was super sick, in bed for like a month. It was, yeah, the release was kind of weird. But I did release that song again in like a string version, I think at the end of that year. And then I think that was kind of like the end of like my country-ish era. Everything since then has been very like pop based. Yeah. I was always told to like stick with a genre as well, but like at the end of the day I don't want to make music that I don't want to make. So and nobody's telling me not to, so oh god, it was so bad. It was just yeah. I think I'd already like uploaded it to like my distributor like over a month in advance. So like by that time I couldn't change it. And like the world was still like totally okay. Like nobody really saw it coming. But yeah, March 6th, man. What a time. Music was always like my thing growing up, like as a kid. I was always performing for my family, like, doing little like songs and putting on little performances with like my cousins and stuff like that. And yeah, in high school, I did a lot of, productions with school, performed everything and anywhere that I could. And then it came to graduating high school, and I did my high school in Belgium, and it's very academic based. There's like not much music at all. So I was getting to the point where I was like, what do I do from here? And I was like trying to pick like that plan B, and I was about to study science. I was going to do like forensic science, and I was like, yeah, let's find a plan B. And then I was just like, one day I was just like, nah, not doing it. Fuck the plan B. Don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but fuck the plan B. I was like, I want to study music. So I applied to a bunch of music schools in Scotland and England, and then picked one, got in, did I did 3 years of music, ended up not really enjoying it actually. It was very academic. It was a lot of essay writing, and yeah, it was just not super creative, which I wasn't expecting. Um, so yeah, I did that for 3 years. I have my bachelor's, but I didn't get like my honors degree. But I mean, I don't really care. Nobody's asked for it. So yeah, so I did that for like 3 years, and then moved to London. And I've been here for a few years now, and just been working on music ever since. Trying to work with other people, trying to find my sound, which, as you can hear from my Spotify back catalog, took me a hot minute. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not that smart either. I'm really not that smart. I know, I was panicking when I was about to like, when I was trying to figure things out. I was panicking, and like going to school in Belgium is so very different from going to school in like the UK or the US. It's hardcore. It's Yeah, it's really difficult. Um, you have to, resit years if you don't pass things, and it's hardcore. Yeah, I didn't do the best. I'm also seriously dyslexic, so yeah, it was never good. So I'm happy I didn't go for my plan B. Yeah, so I've got dyslexia and dyscalculia. Dyscalculia actually even more than dyslexia. And yeah, it's not the easiest. And that's the thing going through music uni as well and like trying to like sight read and stuff like that was really difficult. I didn't actually find out I had dyslexia until I went to university as well. So 1 week I was there and my tutor was like, hey, by the way, I think you should get tested. 1 week. That was it. So my Spotify was blowing up like more than usual, and I released a song. I think it was like March 2022 or April 2022, something like that. And the second book didn't come out until I think October. And in October, my like Spotify was blowing up. I was like, where are all these streams coming from? And like I had read the book and stuff, and like there wasn't like a playlist on the book like some other like romance novels have. They have like the playlist in the book. Um, so then I was getting tagged in things on TikTok of like people receiving like PR packages for the book, and it came with like a little card, and it was like, this is the playlist. And I was like, no fucking way. So yeah, that's how I found out. I found out on TikTok and I freaked out. Because I didn't even know, like, I know she'd heard the song because she commented on one of my TikToks like a long time ago and it was super sweet. But I never heard anything from her, like, personally. So I was like freaking out. And when it said, like, made by Colleen Hoover, I was like, done, life made. And especially because the song is so heavily based on the book. It just felt like, like a you did well kind of thing. I mean, I still don't know if she really loves the song or anything, but it just felt that's what it felt like. Yeah, it's definitely still like my biggest song. It has like 500,000 streams on Spotify alone, so it's done really really well and it's done really like amazing things for me. I've had like incredible opportunities from it. But I do see a big like crossover. Like I think before that song came out, I had less than 1,000 monthly listeners or something like that on Spotify every month, and now I go in between like 20 and 50K. So reading has definitely done a lot for like my songwriting and stuff. I will say before I read It Ends With Us, I had never in my life picked up a book as an adult. Never. I was not a reader. I I actually like was really like I was a hater on books. I was like I will never read. I hate reading. How do people do it? It's so boring. Like I'll read a page and forget about it. And I used to be like that. Like we used to have to do like book reports in high school and I never read the book. Like I was one of those people that read like the back, skimmed it. I basically hated it. And then when It Ends With Us kept coming up on my For You page on TikTok, that's the very first book I ever read. And I think I'm about 200 odd books deep now. So yeah, it completely just like, yeah, I found a real passion for reading. I think for me, my songs now are like I'd say like a 50-50. Some of them are 100% honest, raw, real about my like life in general. And some of them have nothing to do with my life anymore, which I never really thought I would ever write anything that wasn't about like me or like something that a friend had gone through or something. But like Stop Fighting It has nothing to do with me. I just, I was reading like a lot of Friends to Lovers books and I was just feeling like spicier, and I think I was like on the way to like a show. I think it was like I can't even remember who it was. It might have been like Upsall that I was seeing, and I was like listening to like spicier alt pop kind of stuff, and I was like took my voice memo, like my iPhone out with my voice memos and like sang something into it and then worked on it a few days later. And yeah, it came pretty quickly, that song. Songwriting for me, and I think this is kind of a not super popular thing to say, but I saw Billie Eilish say this once and now I'm like not afraid to like say it, but like songwriting in general is a really difficult process for me. It's really rough. I'm super like hard on myself as a person in general. So it's a painful process and I will go through a million songs and yeah, some of them will really suck, and I used to have a really hard time with that. And I think it was like one time Hunter Hayes like answered one of my questions on something, and he said, "Not every song has to be finished." And it clicked for me because after that, like before that, I always tried to finish songs, and like even if I hated them, I would always try and finish them. But now I'm a lot better at writing like little bits every single day and then fleshing out like the ideas that I like afterwards. So a lot of my songs these days as well start lyrically first. Usually right now over the last like couple of years, it starts out on like my notes app on my iPhone or like my iPad or something. I'll come up with all the lyrics and then I'll take it to my boyfriend who produces all my music with me. He has produced with me like everything basically. We've been together for a really long time now. So he produces all of my music with me and he'll help me a lot with like chord structures and things like that because he's like a bass player, a guitarist, he plays piano, like, he's multi-talented. He'll sit down with me and we'll go through it and we'll make like the song either on piano or on guitar and then I'll put together like an inspo playlist and then we'll build the track from there. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a lot of borrowing but not stealing things that you like. So it's like I'm a heavy listener to music. I listen to music all the time. And then I'll have like random bits of songs like, oh, Gracie Abrams did this cool little thing here. I want to do that in a song one day. Or like, I'll be like listening to like even new artists like will pop up on like my Spotify radio and I'll be like, oh, that's like a really cool like vocal layering idea. I'd love to do that one day. So I'm always listening to music and always being inspired by things, especially because I write the majority of my music by myself. So it's like it's almost like collaborating without collaborating. Right now, I've got like a little pop like obsessions playlist on my Spotify. I think it's on my artist page as well. It's also like 90% women, I think. I actually don't even know if there's a guy on there because I honestly listen to like 98% women. I think Conan Gray is like really like the only guy that I like listen to at the moment anyway. NF though, I love NF too, which is a completely different genre for me, but yeah, so I've got You Didn't Know It Was Coming Out on June 9th. So that's coming out, my little sad girl song. That doesn't 100% sound like a sad girl song. It's like got a little bit of a beat to it. So I'm super excited about that coming out and especially getting back to like my sad girl roots. And then yeah, lots of new music. I do have a couple of gigs coming up which I can't tell you about yet, but I do have some stuff coming out. Possibly another headline show as well this year, which I am looking forward to. So